Welcome to Your AI Reality Check, a podcast dedicated to helping businesses get smart about using AI and start getting real results. No more fluff, no more confusion, no random tool suggestions. It's time to dish up some real AI strategies. Let's dive in. As promised, we said that we're going to talk about what the top 10% businesses are doing. So for the top 10% of businesses, like personalization is one of the things that marketers have been able to do in terms of they do a great job with it, creating personalized campaigns, landing pages, comms, content. Now with AI, businesses are able to accelerate the results that they were doing manually tenfold. So I'll give you an example. So you would have in the past looked into running ads, right? Everyone needs to run ads at some point. It's a very pay to play platform, but how do we know what's going to convert the most? And an agency would come about and, create the strategy, create the content, roll out your ads and have various different versions to test which one converts the most and then double down on the ones that do. And they do this so that your money is getting put towards the high converting ads that are going to drive the most traffic or get the most results. Now with AI, companies are now aggressively testing creatives like we've never seen before, not only across just one campaign, but several iterations of a campaign, like based off messaging, based off user type, their demographic, their personas. So it would usually kind of be quite linear. It'll be one campaign, one persona, one message, different variations. But now it's like one campaign, 5 to 10 different personas, each of those having their highly converting pieces of content and messaging, and even the landing pages are at scale being hyper personalized to their persona. Like this is what the top 10% are doing with AI, is they're able to test things faster to get results much quicker. Yeah. And not only just like for paid ads, but for organic too. They're creating several different pages, company pages. Like we all have seen companies in the beginning kind of have icky, cringe type content about the corporate, world. And then they started going into employment generated content, the AGC content, and everyone loved it because it was like behind the scenes of the business. It was fun. And now they're testing just to have their name placed everywhere. So they'll get creators in and they'll leverage AI so they can create like 10 different accounts, not even related to their business. It's just for entertainment. It's just for engagement. It's just for brand awareness. They have their names slapped everywhere. So this is one of the examples.
Just to add to that, not only can you use AI automation just in the ad creation aspect of it, but also for doing competitor research, which used to take a lot of time. So I use a lot of Clay. In the past few months, I've been using Clay quite a bit. And within Clay, you can use, you can integrate with many third-party softwares. So there's something called ad beat. An ad beat basically tells you what kind of ads has generated what kind of results and impressions for any company or a bunch of different companies. So you can just pump in your competition, see in the last year which ads have performed well, which ads have not, what kind of messaging has performed well and what hasn't, and that can inform your own decisions. So it's not just creative side of things, it's also the research side of things. And being able to marry the two can then just make your system so much more powerful.
Oh my gosh, that is incredible.
My view is that if I just look at the macro level, the companies that are able to identify which of their processes are already working, maybe it was completely manual, but they know it's working. Then if they use AI, you can scale it quite a bit. That could mean anything. So for example, if you're on LinkedIn and you see a lot of people talking about chatbots or talking about voice calling agents, or chatbot seems to be very, very popular. There's no point of building a chatbot if you don't have enough traffic on your website. So there's no point of, you have to solve the acquisition problem first. The companies are able to identify what processes need to be automated because they're already working right now, and then we can automate this. They are the ones who are able to see results because they know there is a system that already works. Now let me automate this because now I have the tools to automate it. And that could mean different things for different companies. It could be SEO, it could be your organic social content. For example, if there is a founder who already is building a profile on LinkedIn and that brings high quality leads to the company, it makes a lot of sense to automate some aspect of it. Maybe you can automate the trending topics that the founder can talk about every week. Maybe you can automate some of the research aspects of it. And then create a system where they can very easily capture their thoughts through a voice note, transcribe it, make it into a blog post, sorry, not blog post, social media post. So if a system is already working and a company knows it is validated that a process works, then if you automate that by using AI, that sort of mindset, I feel and I have seen seems to be getting some really good results for companies instead of trying to just using AI to create a system that may or may not work.
And like I mentioned earlier, at the very least, they're using ChatGPT or they're using Claude or one of the tools, but they're not using it in a way that's going to scale their productivity. So what we mean by this, like from an AI consultant perspective, if, we look at a problem and we try to, think how can we save time, make money, and of course, reduce risks in that process. And someone using AI would solve the problem with how do I write an email, right? To this person. But an AI automation consultant would be like, would answer the question, what system can I put in place so they don't have to write at least 60 to 80% of their emails? Like what can I put in place to automate end to end, have AI read, understand the incoming emails and provide a hyper-personalized approach based on the customer's needs. If there's a complaint, AI will be able to scan through your emails and be able to handle complaints, right? By referring to its documents, designed to, manage complaints the way that company does. And if it's a request for a proposal, or maybe they want to get a demo, then AI, like, the automation's been put in place from the minute they've filled out a form where it gets their data, does research, and then delivers like a personalized presentation to that business and solves the problems that they're specifically experiencing. This is something that marketers can't even do. At the very least, they can offer an information pack that has a bit more, about the business, the USPs and kind of the product or the service they're offering and the testimonials. Yeah, but with AI, it can personalize that document to their incoming leads. And you could have leads coming in from various different industries, but AI is able to create that like within seconds. Like I'm going to say generously within 2 to 5 minutes, it's going to create that document and send it. This is something that like humans can't do. So that's why, my AI tagline is that, achieve the impossible with AI, because when you think of scenarios like this, that this is literally impossible. And this is another way that businesses are, the top 10% are leveraging AI to the point where the manual labor, like the manual handling of things have reduced by at least a generous 65 to 95%, depending on that thing. Like, of course, you want some human intervention, and chatbots, have been trained to bring a human in when it doesn't know what to do, and that's fine. Or it'll be trained, if someone's got a chatbot on their website, it'll be trained on their FAQs, and it will be able to see the signals that someone's interested or wants to move forward, and then it'll help the customer make that next step faster.
No, absolutely. And I think just adding to the training data point, I think that's what would set one company apart from the other. If you're just using AI to create a document, whether that's a lead magnet or whatever it is, then anybody can whip that up now. Anybody can do that. But if it all depends on what you have trained that data on. So if you're a fitness instructor and if you're creating personalized meal plans for people landing on your website, it all depends on what your training data is. Otherwise, every single fitness instructor or every single coach that's creating your plan for them can use the exact same workflow. So what will set you apart from somebody else is what your training data is like. Like you mentioned, the human in the loop is so important. I think when it comes to high value transactions, if your average order value is high, if your lead, the value of your lead is really high, then it makes sense to have a human in the loop before it goes out. So some of these things always have to be kept in mind when you're deciding how you want to build out your build.
Of course. So I think we've covered some pretty incredible topics. We've had a bit of a deep dive into some of the solutions that, us as AI consultants have supported businesses across the globe with. We've also dived into some of what the top 10% of businesses are actually thriving and how they're able to scale out their business or offer an incredible, unbeatable service to their prospects and their current existing clients or customers. We hope you like this podcast. Join us in the next episode where we dive into some solid AI solutions for small to medium-sized businesses. Don't forget to like and follow. If you want to know how AI can help your business specifically, come and find us on LinkedIn.